Hello, hello, hello. It is Sunday evening, and we are sitting in the lounge. I got a cold brew. Okay, maybe it's Mountain Dew, but whatever. And we are chilling out at the end of the week. How the heck is everybody? Good, bad, indifferent? We have a decent week?
I'm not dead yet.
You're not dead yet?
Yeah. A little tired. A little stressed.
A little tired, a little stressed. And it was a halfway decent week for us. We got some presents.
Yes. I got Chinese.
What'd you get?
Well, we got the Wicked Ones.
We did get the Wicked Ones. See, look, I got the Wicked Ones. It's right here.
It's wicked.
It's wicked, and it's got ones, maybe twos. I don't know. Anyway, it's wicked.
I got we got me the Kobold Press book.
We got you the Kobold Press book. We got you Midgard, the World Book.
Yes, I'm very excited. What else? Claim the Sky arrived.
Claim the Sky finally arrived. Thank you, FedEx. Woohoo!
It was lost in Indianapolis for about a week.
3 weeks. November 19th through the 10th. So, yay. We can go claim the sky. Actually, we could have claimed the sky before, I guess, but PDF. But no, it's sexy. We like it. Let's see. We had Everway before last week's stream.
Yep.
So that's the stuff that we've gotten since then.
Everway's sexy. I'm not gonna lie, Everway is like super fucking sexy.
I was pretty dang impressed. They did a fantastic job.
I thought we got Everway on Monday.
Was that when we got it?
I think so.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
No,
we get boxes. We open the boxes, we cheer, and then we put the stuff in the boxes on the shelf
until I pull it off again to review it. No, yeah. It's cool. The whole production is just top notch. The Everway company did a fantastic job with that Kickstarter. I'm hella impressed.
Yep. We've got other stuff coming soon.
Yes, we do. We have the Book of Gaub on the way.
Yep. And Court of Blades updated. You have designs, and they've got the physical copy in house.
That's coming soon next year.
Yep.
Does Josh do all the reviews to blogs? Now, yes. It will probably change again, but not for the very near future. Joann's going back to school, and I'm still doing job hunting. So,
you just got Everway Monday because you reviewed it for Friday.
Oh, that's last Friday.
The 10th is when it was published.
Oh,
so snap!
Yeah, she's amazing. She's gonna be awesome. But yeah, while she's doing that and stuff, and while I've got the time off, I took over. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, I got in. I got in.
I took over the reviews.
I'm kind of nervous and excited, but yes, I got in the school
so that she could focus on that. So
I'm gonna be a software engineer. It's gonna be great.
This is gonna be awesome.
I'm excited. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's new, it's interesting, it's exciting. I don't officially start at the school till
January 10th or something like that. Yeah.
But I've got like pre-stuff I've got to do this month to get ready for it, to like get my mind in that whole going back to school thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of exciting.
So yeah, until then, I'm doing kind of the reviews. We're keeping up the streams just because with Invisible Sun I'm running it. With Halo there's really no prep, and with this one we're just chatting with y'all because chatting. So
Of course, if we get a book that like really excites me and gets my attention, I'll write the review, like I did Claim the Sky.
That's true. You did do Claim the Sky. That's right.
But yes, Josh does the bulk of the reviews, and then when we were writing the blog advice, I did most of that.
But now we do the advice here, and
Yep, and I run the tech.
and she runs the tech. So either way,
all the tech.
she's still doing amazing work, and I love her to death, and appreciate everything that she does because she's wonderful and awesome, and yeah. So what are we talking about today?
All the characters.
All the characters.
All the characters. We're talking about we started the story. We started discussing, talking about making the same character for. Thank you. Yes, I'm learning. Right, I'm learning. But yeah, we started talking about making the same character for multiple games.
Why did we do that? Well, there was this thing.
Somebody found a meme and he was asking me earlier, hey, what do you want to do? And so he found a meme and I said, that sounds like a great idea for a post. And yeah. I don't know how you're gonna.
I don't either.
You might have to hit open original and then try to copy it that way. So yeah.
All right, click on that and see if you can see the image.
They won't be able to see it because it's on a
private Discord server.
Yep. Maybe. I don't know.
Fook, if you click on that, can you see that image? Yes. Yes, that's the one. So you can see it. So somebody posted that on Twitter and said as a comment, when you keep making the same character for different campaigns. And I thought it was hilarious, so I shared it with Joann and then proceeded to ask her, hey, should we what are we going to talk about? And she said, "Oh, that's a good idea. We should talk about that." And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, how are we going to talk about that for an hour?
With mad skills.
With mad skills. So let's talk about. No, that's definitely a PC thing. I know people that make the same character for every game that they play.
Somebody's son does that. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because he does. I love my son to death, but he does make the same character.
Youngest son makes one. Yes, the Greg or the Steve. He makes one character no matter what we're playing. It's either the fighter type or the wizard type.
And it's the same dude over and over and over again. So yeah, he's yet to learn about the power of creative expansion.
He's the guy that's Don't worry, in my next episode, I'm going to introduce you to my brother Faramir.
Jeez.
And you can't even tell me I'm wrong, because you know I'm not.
No, I can't.
Yeah. We've done that too. I mean, if you've watched our Invisible Sun stream, there is the character called the Phineas.
Except the thing with Phineas is it's not a different character that's the same personality as Phineas. It's literally the same character. So we have a character named Phineas, that I played as a PC in one of the players in that campaign is Chris Harris. He ran a game, and I played Phineas as a one-off for his game, and had so much fun with that character that I decided that Phineas was going to make an appearance in every single game that I was in, and it didn't matter what system. So he's made his way to Invisible Sun. He's made his way from Numenera. He's made his way from D&D. He's made his way from... He just keeps showing up. And he exists everywhere simultaneously.
Along with his statue.
Along with his statue, the Herald.
The Herald, who announces how great the Phineas is.
In gold boxer shorts.
I will admit... actually, yeah, I do.
She does.
I do run D&D. I have run D&D. We just typically don't review it because there's enough people running around spouting how great Wizards of the Coast is that they really don't need
our voice doing the same.
But then I get the indie publishers who, well, we're not big. I'll freely admit that we're small potatoes, but even a small voice is more than what they had.
Mm-hmm.
And we've made a lot of friends with indie publishers. But yes, I do run D&D. As a matter of fact, I am starting a home D&D game in January.
Mm-hmm. Hence the Midgard book. That's going to be the campaign setting for it.
Look, Midgard's sexy.
Dude, Cobalt Press puts out some good shit.
Yes, they do.
I'm not going to lie. They put out really quality stuff. The kid who...
You're going to have to finish your query.
Yeah, I'm not... Oh, no. That's my son, and he's not playing.
No, he is not playing in any more of my games.
No worries. No worries.
No, he's not. We were supposed to play a Tallest game back when we first got Tallest, and we were going to do it in 5th edition, and then he abruptly decided he didn't want to play anymore. And then tried to make it out that it was somebody else's fault that we never finished a campaign when he's the one that would get bored and wander off. Which I get, because I can't give him the spotlight all the time. But...
yeah.
And I'm not going to force him to play, so yeah.
So we've got another group of people that... it's a non-streamed game, yep. And we're just real relaxed, real home game kind of a thing, and we're gonna sit down and play.
Yep, I'm probably gonna put together a streamed game after my classes are over.
Yep,
because I'm not gonna have the mental bandwidth for more than running one more. I have English. No, none of them do. I have played with other people who do.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Josh's son. Josh's son just came first to mind. My ex-husband often made the same character over and over and over. One of Josh's friends, who we used to play Shadowrun with, would make the same character over and over.
Yep.
So it's a lot more prevalent than you'd expect. Not so much, and I'm not talking just so much type. Like, for example, I'm not talking. No. It was a different guy who always wanted to play godlike characters. Absolutely perfect in every way.
Although I will say that the voodoo priest guy, while it wasn't the same character,
he played the same characteristics. He was a bard. He always played the horny, gotta get me some. Tell me I'm wrong.
That warlock was not okay.
You're just mad because he kept making pussy jokes.
God.
So we were playing D&D with a friend of Josh's, and Josh decided to make it Tabaxi because Tabaxis get,
Yeah.
very much so. Because Tabaxis get the bonuses towards the stealthing and whatnot, and so he made it Tabaxi Assassin.
Well, I'd never made it Tabaxi before. See, that's my thing. Is I try really hard never to make the same character twice.
Yep.
So
unless it's funny.
But even then, it's not like I'm making the same character. I just reuse it. Like I've reused Acto a couple times, but it's always Acto. I won't make another barbarian and call him Facto.
But his thing is that he would make. He started playing a warlock, and he made a lot of jokes about the Tabaxi. Like, here, kitty, let me scratch your ears. And was just, and then he went perverted. And it was just like every other character he had played. It went right into the gutter.
And I should have known, But
it was fun. And we all knew that it was all in good fun because we're friends. That's one of the big things that we talk about a lot of when we're talking about the whole consent in gaming is that we knew each other for years. And when I told him that certain things he did made me uncomfortable, he stopped.
Yep.
And that's what the big part of the whole consent is. When somebody tells you that it's making you uncomfortable, they need to stop. Not argue with you or not say it's okay, it's not that bad.
Or it's just what my character would do.
Isn't that fun? So I got a set of dice that do that I used to do that with. I was so excited when I got them.
Well, and so then there's, like, when we started playing Happy Hour over at Manapot, because they usually play D&D 5e, they use D&D Beyond. And I haven't made a character yet in D&D Beyond. We need a 5th level character, roll me up a random. I don't even care what it is. And I've had a blast with some of those characters.
Like my Fire Genasi, that was hilarious.
Oh my goodness. My God.
Or the Satyr. That was a hoot. But yeah, so you can play the same character a lot, but I do think that you're missing out when you do. Because there's a lot of stuff out there. Now, I do agree that if you're going to play a character that you've never played before, brush up on what that character's supposed to be able to do. I don't expect people to remember it, but I do expect people to have some sort of idea. Like, a paladin is more than just a tank. We'd totally be down for that.
Sure. You bet.
Like, making a paladin and then expecting them to fight like a fighter is not exactly a brilliant idea. Because they're not fighters. They have their own abilities, they have their own specialities. And it's more than just I hit the thing and cast smite to do extra damage. They've also got other things. Like the bonus actions can be really useful. Like when 5e first came out, I was playing in a game and I was playing with Cleric who decided to play a War Cleric. And I played a hippie paladin. Oath of the Ancients. And yes, when I say hippie, I mean full-blown, hair-braided, flowers in her hair, singing all the time, hippie paladin. Because she wanted to be a bard. But she was a paladin because everybody in her family was a paladin, and it was expected for her to take the paladin to be a paladin. So she was a hippie paladin. And she had an action, or at the level she had 2 actions and a bonus actions. So to rescue the cleric that went, war cleric, went and got his ass in trouble. I used Misty Step, which is a paladin ability that you get, followed by Lay on Hands because he was nearly dead, and then used my bonus action to throw him out of the ring of gargoyles that were beating his ass.
Mm-hmm. Always know your options.
So even if you don't remember them, write them down. Nobody's going to get mad at you if you're like, okay, I've got to look and see, okay, this does this. As a matter of fact, the bulk of the complaints that I've seen about the whole interrogation is that instead of saying, hey, hang on, let me look this up, I'm just going to ask the DM. So, yeah, I can understand the DM frustration, but I don't think it's always just you need to memorize. I think it's also you need to be able to look it up yourself.
Or have some other method to remember it. Again, I'll go back to stuff like D&D Beyond. When they put together their character sheet, it's got the full description of all the abilities, right?
Yep.
So,
and you just got to read it.
It's real easy. When I'm using like Roll20 character sheets or even the PDF form fillable ones, I'll straight up copy out of the player's handbook the entire description of whatever ability and paste it in those fields just so that I have it, because I'll forget. I'm not perfect by any means, and I've been running D&D since first edition.
Exactly. But in 5th edition, the fighters get a lot more options, especially mechanically, because there's all the different fighter techniques you can take, and then there's different bonus actions you can use as a fighter in 5th edition, which is wild. Like the whole interception.
Yep. So, play lots of different characters, have fun.
If you have fun playing the same character over and over again, then yes, please do so. But I do suggest trying to branch out, because sometimes you're going to end up in a group where somebody else is already playing that character, or at least close enough that you're just a repeat, and you'll get bored.
Well, and if you don't get bored, what'll end up happening is they're gonna feel like a resentment because they wanted to play that character, because maybe they don't play that character normally, and they want an opportunity to do so.
It depends on the player. Like with Josh's son, I let it slide because he has learning difficulty. He has a hard time moving away from a routine. If it's other people and they just like playing the same character, as long as nobody else has called dibs, I don't care. I suggest that they play something else. I suggest that they try something else, and I say make sure that you're not going to get bored. But I'd be more, as the GM, I'm more irritated with the what do you want to what would you call it? The altitis, where every time they play, they want to make a different character.
Oh yeah.
But I also typically don't run more than
and when she says that, what she means is every session, not every campaign or every short campaign or something like that. So they're playing 4 hours and then they're bored with that character, and so for the next session they want to make a different character. So GM, please kill my character.
Or have my character get captured.
Yeah.
Or have them end up in the hospital, or the person plays. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Are you talking like they play a sorcerer like they would a fighter, or
Steve the sorcerer, Steve the fighter, Steve the cleric, Steve
or
the
are you
paladin,
talking
Steve
about
the...
like all the characters having the same personality? If it's the first one where they're working together. How do you put it up? What are you doing? If they're trying to play the sorcerer like they would a fighter, then I would point out that the sorcerer's just a little bit squishy
Well,
and kill the character.
Either that or nerf it for a session and pull them aside afterwards and say, look, I understand that you played a fighter before and that you played them this way, but if you play a sorcerer or whatever, here's how it's different.
Well, I would allow it, but after I would make it clear that I wouldn't be pulling punches.
Yeah.
Because a wizard doesn't punch things. A wizard typically doesn't close for the simple fact that look their hit points. They get what?
D4 per level.
And now I think it's D6.
Yeah.
In 5th edition. Before 5th edition, they got a D4 per level. After 5th edition, they got a D6 per level. They're still
squishy.
And they can typically unless they take the feat to be able to wear more, so he got a D4 per level, plus he can only wear cloth armor. Yeah, I would have said, look, if you want to punch things, you need to play monk, because that's who punches things. If you're going to play a wizard and you're going to run up and pick a fight and punch something, you're going to end up dead.
Or you're going to wait until you're fairly high level, and then you're going to take lots and lots and lots of spell slots to use Big B's Mighty Fist.
But even that, there's a time limit on it.
There is.
And you'd end up blowing all your spell list. And to be honest, this is one of the reasons why I talk about session 0. And that would be a position where I would call. Well, whether they were or not, he's running up to hit something as a wizard instead of using his spells.
Squish him.
Skish him.
It's that simple.
I mean, this would be...
Warn him, then squish him.
And this would be one of those places where the party would be intervening. Because if... And I'm going to recommend an anime for you. Since we're bringing this. It's an anime called Rune Soldiers. Let me type it in. RUN. And basically this entire anime is about a group of adventurers and the wizard who punched things. And the first episode, he uses his magic staff to hit a goblin on the head and he breaks it. And so he doesn't have that magic staff anymore. So he has to go get a new one. But here's the thing. If a party hires a wizard for their magical abilities, and they're expected to do wizarding things, and then they run up and punch things, then why would the party keep them around? A bard who punches things, I could buy. I've seen movies with punching bards. I mean, yeah, I'd recommend that this bard take some things in monk, a level or 2 at monk, if they want to punch things, because simple fact that if you... In Dungeons and Dragons, one of the big things that you have to look at is damage output. Bards do in 3.5, what was it? Everybody but Monk did like what, 1d4 plus strength?
Something like that, yeah.
So you get a 1d4 plus strength, but monks could do what? 1d6, 1d8?
Yeah.
It's been a while
6
since
starting and then 8 and 10, I think it was.
It's been a while since I played 3.5.
With an unarmed strike.
With an unarmed strike. I mean, whereas the 5th edition monks are a lot better because now you can spend key points to do fancy things like knocking your enemy prone.
Yep.
Or flurry of blows. My favorite for a monk is control the battlefield. I will put this person where I want them. But yeah, if you're going to play a character that punches things, then you need to play a character that has punching. Otherwise, you're wasting your. And if the enemy is smart, if you're playing the enemy is smart, and I have always played my NPCs as smart. If there's this big dude running around that stabs me with a sword, but he's wearing all this metal armor, and then there's this little squishy dude that comes over and punches me, I'm gonna step on the squishy dude and then eat the metal armor dude. Because that's just.
I'd always rather have one person attacking me than two. Because the second guy might get lucky. So,
now I can't say the same for animals, because most animals will go for the creature that hurt them the most, or they'll flee. But when it comes to humanoids, yeah, I will put the blame for that group issue on both the people that were playing it and the DM. But I also know that in those days, it was a lot harder to get people to session 0.
Yep. Session 0 wasn't even really a thing back then.
Always had the first session as. I mean, you remember, you were completely confused when you asked me if I wanted you to show up with a made character, and I said, no, we're going to have a session to talk, and then you'll make characters.
Yeah, that was like the first time I'd ever heard of Session 0. I mean,
I didn't even call it Session 0. I just said, no, we're going to get together as a group, discuss the kind of game we're going to play, and then we'll make characters.
But that discussion was a new thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd done character creation sessions before, but
yes, the people that play brooding loners in an RPG need to just go play video games, because that's in essence what they're wanting to do. They're not wanting to be part of the group and tell a story. They're wanting to go do their own thing. Now, I'm not going to say that there aren't characters that start off as brooding loners that don't end up being integrated as part of the group because they form the attachments during the gameplay. Because Josh has played a character that started off as brooding loner.
Yep.
And then, but you have to be willing to make that step.
Well, and the other thing to remember is when I made that character, I made that character sitting down with you knowing full well, I said, this is how this is going to start. I want to get to point B. And here's what I think point B is. How does that fit into your game?
And then we figured out how to make it work. Now, with the pyro, I have played lots of games with pyros. I have nothing against pyros as long as they understand there's a time and a place. There are some pyros out there that do not understand the concept of time and place. I get a giggle remembering those days when I watch All for One, because they're funny, but they definitely do have a pyro. Let me see. They're out of Australia, I think. One for All. From Deerstalker Pictures.
Oh, them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
I get a giggle from them. Especially, I often get that same exasperated. Yeah, these guys, they're a hoot. But yes, you need no matter what character you make, no matter what character you play, you need characters that have a reason to adventure and be a team player.
So that's one of the reasons that I've said, at least in all of my games now going forward, in our session 0, I'm going to take something along the lines of Monty Cook Games character arcs and character bonds, and we're going to figure that out in whatever system I'm running. Because you're absolutely correct. If the characters don't have a personal reason to make choices to drive the story, and they don't have a personal reason to relate to the other characters, you're going to have 5 or 6 people working in 5 or 6 different directions, and you're never going to be able to control it.
Yep. And you can do that with all kinds of characters. Like, it doesn't have to be this young dumbass wanting to go off and make it rich. I played a character who was a gnome. She was 175 years old, because average lifespan for a gnome is what, 300?
Something like that, yeah.
So she was a grandmother, and she went to go on adventure and be a team player because her grandson went off and got into trouble. So she was like, all right, I'm going to go get him and bring his ass home. So she packed up her bag, got out her old weapons and her old armor, and went off to go adventure to find her grandson and bring his ass back home. And the ending scene of her was she found her grandson and had him by the scruff of the neck and was dragging him back home, lecturing him the whole way about his misbehavior. And my DM thought that was hilarious. And then she started adventuring with the group again because she had fun and wanted to make sure that they weren't getting themselves into trouble.
So yeah, if you run into stuff like this, it's not necessarily a lost cause.
No.
So what I want to talk about a little bit now is the art of the art of player coaching.
Yes.
One of the what I would call the responsibilities of a GM is to help develop role players. I know there are GMs out there that disagree with me, but this is my opinion. It's my show, so dang it, I'm gonna have my opinion on my show. I think it is absolutely the responsibility of a GM to help coach role players. Now, that being said, everybody's got their own choice, and eventually you have to say, all right, that's enough. This game, maybe this group isn't for you. But as a GM, if I run across something like your brooding loner or your pyro or the dude that wants to play all the classes the same character, something like that, that's fine, and it's not something that you necessarily want to allow to continue forever. But pulling them aside in a one-on-one after a session and saying, all right, so I understand what you've got here. What is it that you're going for? What is it that you want to get out of this game? How do you want to have fun with us? And having that conversation in a non-threatening, in a individual kind of a way where, it's not the entire gaming group ganging up on the poor person, but it's, you sitting down with them and saying, hey, I want us all to have fun. Help me understand what that looks like for you. Then you can maybe and hopefully pull out of that person what that vision is, and then help it to align with the rest of the group in a way that makes it so that the rest of the group has fun too. And that's really the art of coaching. It's not just hey, here's the rules and here's how you apply the rules, but it's very much a let's figure out how you want to have fun and show you how you can have fun in a way that doesn't infringe on other people having fun at the same table.
Yeah. It's very much your freedoms end where mine begin. Everybody at the table needs to be having fun. Yeah, sometimes that fun doesn't look the same, but like today, the session of Invisible Sun was really awesome.
But hey, Brian.
It was really depressing.
Like, yeah. Oops.
Yeah, if you didn't watch it, you should go watch it, because I think I did a very good job on doing the.
I was bad.
Jerking. He burnt down my house.
I did.
Well, okay, I'll rephrase it. We burnt down my house because we discussed it before it happened, but we burnt down my house in Invisible Sun. And
I killed a whole bunch of ghosts.
He ghost busted the ghosts.
Like dead.
Yeah. It was we had the discussion and we decided that was a good direction to move forward with, because the game needed a kick. So we burnt my house down, and yeah. I was very sad. I did the very sad very well.
You did. I thought it was fantastic.
Chris was going to cry for a minute.
Yeah, Fook, this is Brian. Brian, this is Fook. Brian is a old GM of ours. He taught us how to play Fate, and he helped us figure out Blades in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a blast playing with him. Fook is a YouTube streamer that is on a mission to interview every GM known to man, and has not quite gotten there yet, although I hear he's close. He's a good friend of the show, and so welcome. We're glad you're both here. We're talking about characters playing players playing the same character over and over again, and judo, the gentle art of Tai Chi, whatever, the gentle art of coaching players.
No, it's not whatever.
Whatever. Dude. Look.
No, look. Tai Chi is the gentle flowing movements of martial arts that looks really pretty. Judo is flinging people through the air. There's a difference. When we're talking about a gentle art, we're talking Tai Chi. You are not judoing any players into my walls.
Oh, come on.
Stop. Yeah, I need to swap the cameras.
We do. We need to swap the cameras on the overlay. It looks weird. So
we could just swap sides.
But I like my side. So yeah, it's very much.
Yes, it is managing upward for PCs.
It very much is. And the other thing that we tend to do, or at least I tend to do when I'm looking at coaching coaching players and mentoring players like that is modeling behavior for them. And so those of you that are watching and that have paid attention, we've talked about Acto before.
Yep.
The whole point of Acto was not for me to play a crazy character. If I'm going to do that, I'll just do that. The point of me playing Acto was we were playing with a bunch of teenagers that all wanted to play chaotic neutral, I'm out for myself kind of characters, and everything close to the vest and quiet, and
No, only one of them was doing that.
we
No.
had 3 of them that were chaotic neutral on.
Yeah, but only one of them was actually playing chaotic neutral.
So I wanted to show them something else. I wanted to show them that you could have fun role playing somebody that wasn't out to just get treasure or just go kill monsters or whatever. So I made this stupid, crazy Dex build barbarian halfling that had these ridiculous antics that went on, and everybody at the table loved that character. And it got them to open up a little bit about the kinds of characters that they played, and B, the kinds of interactions that they had. Not everything was a combat. Not everything was, us versus them. It was they could play up a character. They could ham up a personality trait, because this halfling thought he was raised by bears. And so you've got a little 3-foot carpet muncher that's trying to bear, and he just looks absolutely freaking ridiculous. And frothing at the mouth, and yes, I went there.
You went there. Oh my god. I'm glad we've marked this adult. Jesus.
And he's all frothing at the mouth, and shoot, you could punt the guy halfway across the zip code. He weighed like 60 pounds soaking wet, but I had so much fun with him, and I went so over the top acting him that everybody else at the table felt like they had permission to do that. And that's modeling that behavior. That's a very Tai Chi way of looking at saying, all right, guys, we want to have more interaction. We want to get you into your character. We want to break you out of your box. So you know what? I'm going to do it first. If I'm a GM, I'm going to ham up an NPC. I'm going to ham up a big bad guy. I'm going to ham up something. And that it's a nod that says, okay, yeah, sure. You can go ahead and do this too. You bet, Brian. You bet.
Yeah. And I will state that there's been, you've got to be silly and outrageous too, and it's part of being the game. But I will state that there's been a lot of unfair expectations being placed both on GMs and players, with the whole thing with Critical Role.
Oh, good grief.
Jesus Christ, people. Seriously, get a fucking grip.
I
have nothing against Critical Role, but let's talk about something very simple, very fucking important. That's their goddamn job. Matt Mercer, voice actor. That's what he does. That's what he gets paid to do. He gets paid stupid money to do that. Everybody in his cast, yes, they're all his friends. Yes, that's how it started. But every single person there works with him. They're paid. They're paid stupid money.
And they're good.
For voice acting.
But that doesn't mean they're you either.
No, I don't watch it. I don't enjoy.
That is exactly what the standard should be, Brian.
Yes, that's where the standard should be. But I've seen too many people that have come into this. Well, I'm not getting Matt Mercer responses. Why shouldn't I? Why aren't I getting Matt Mercer? Tell you what, you come to the table and you start paying me $150 an hour. I will give you Matt Mercer.
I will figure out how to do those voices. I may not be able to do them now, but I'll sure figure it out for $150 an hour.
If you want to come to and pay me that kind of money, I got a way to give you the Matt Mercer experience. But if you're coming to my table just to have fun, then let's have fun. And no, folk, it's not weird. I don't watch Critical Role for the simple fact. All right, I'm going to let you in on a little secret about me. When somebody tells me I have to do something, you can bet your bottom dollar it's not going to happen. You have to watch Critical Role. It's so awesome. Fuck no. The minute you told me I had to, You have to watch Game of Thrones. It's so awesome. I watched an episode and all I saw were titties and I'm like, okay, I'm done. If I wanted to watch softcore porn, I would go actually watch good softcore porn. Sorry. You have to read these books. No, I don't.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Do you have... Actually, no, you don't even tell me what to do.
No, I don't. Well,
you ask me to do stuff.
I do. Now,
you tell me you need me to do something. You don't sit there and say, you have to do this thing.
This is true. Now, with that being said, I will I will tell you that I do watch stream play. There's one in particular that I watch a lot. It's on Manapot. It's another Invisible Sun play. It's called The Whole of the World. Why do I watch that one? The guy that runs that game's a really close friend of mine.
And he's fun.
And he's a lot of fun. The cast is a blast to watch. The storytelling is top notch. But they're not professionals. They're just guys having fun. And, quite frankly, they hang out with us too. So
when they can.
So it's all right.
Yeah. So the game that he's talking about, Fook, is the Fate game.
God, that was fun.
And yeah,
that's the only reason to do it.
Yeah, I've been kind of on it, but I'm kind of iffy because I read the books and I think I got to the third one before I was like, fuck this shit, because it started becoming and you gotta go here, and you gotta go here, and you gotta go here. And once I get to that point where it's constantly, you have to do this other thing because prophecy says you have to do this other thing to prove that you're this dude that you proved in the last book that you were this dude. Yeah, they're gonna die.
Yep.
Unless it's George Martin writing it, and then it doesn't matter, they're gonna die anyways.
Hey, Team Tyrion, he lived.
Which one was he?
The short dude, the dwarf.
Well, that's because he's the dwarf. And he's adorable. I'm sorry. I don't care. He's
Peter Dinklage
adorable.
is the man. I'm sorry. Anyway, no, yeah, I agree, Fook. If you're watching it because they're your friends, or you're watching it because you get some enjoyment out of it, great, do it. But to hold something up as like a gold standard or something like that is just a waste of your time. And I don't necessarily mean you personally. I mean the general you, right? So when we're talking about role-playing games in general and GMs in general, saying that my game's not as good as Critical Role. Forget that. It's not about whether your game's as good as Critical Role. How are your players feeling? It's like Brian said. The standard is everyone at our table enjoying the game and having fun. If they are, then it doesn't matter.
That's okay, folks. Zach wasn't Josh's friend when he first started watching Manapod.
Nope.
They became friends. It's like, yeah, if you want, I agree, Brian. If you want to get ideas, that's great and awesome. Be my guest, but don't expect everybody you play with to be that professional.
And they shouldn't expect you to either.
I mean, and that's the other thing, right? So since we're talking about this, I've had a lot of people that are talking about how great and how awesome Matt Mercer is, and how other GMs should be that professional standard. When are they going to be that professional standard? I mean, seriously, one of the big things about Critical Role is the fact that he's able to play off his players. No,
they're not. This is other people saying that about Critical Role.
I'm talking about other people saying it about Critical Role. I'm not. No, Critical Role. Matt Mercer has said more than once on Twitter he's not this. He should not be held to the same standards as everybody else because he is a professional. It's become an effect, and people seem to think that if you log in and you stream this game, then you should be as good as Critical Role. And the fact of the matter is that unless I'm going to get players sitting at my table that are of the same quality, I'm not going to be Matt Mercer.
And we appreciate it, Fook.
Yeah.
Believe me.
And it's not to say Matt Mercer's a bad guy, because Matt Mercer isn't. They're people.
They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else.
But they're also people that are running a business, which is why I got so confused about the whole meltdown with regards to Critical Role and the monetary thing.
It's a business.
It's a business. Yeah,
it's always been a business.
And what bothered me was the fact that it was coming from the same people that had just done Kickstarters to make money off of their own product.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I have a few soapboxes when it comes to gaming.
1 or 50, I mean...
Yeah.
And that's part of why we're doing this, is because we've got...
I think it's hard for a stream to capture it. I think that there are times that you can capture it, but I do think it's hard for a stream to capture it. Yes, people love to bitch. Josh has been doing pretty good with the whole Invisible Sun player agency.
Trying really hard. I keep chumming the water, right? So I wrote
Do you ever think stop chumming the water a little less?
Well, I am. I'm done chumming the water. Y'all can do whatever you want now, because you have enough to figure this out.
No, we don't. We have enough to make a mess. We aim to misbehave.
Do you ever think that that's part of the solution?
Dude.
No, I spent today prepping for my stream this afternoon, and as part of that, because they were struggling a little bit trying to figure out what they wanted to do, I wrote up a list of dangling plot threads that they had that they could chase down, so that if they needed a reminder, if they wanted to look at something, or they were like, oh, what was that one thing that we were talking about 3-4 episodes ago? So I made this list, and it's like 17 items long.
Yeah, it's 17 items long. And then what did we do? None of the above.
Not true. Not true.
Okay, fine. What, one of the above?
One of the above. Look, I told you at the outset of this that I could do this for 1.5 years, 2 years, easy. This is not hard to stretch.
Yeah, it's. And then we burned my house down.
And then we burned your house down.
It was a really sad scene. Oh look, and now it's on YouTube.
Yes, it is now on YouTube. Go and see it. You should absolutely go and see it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I discovered with campaigns and whatnot. Speaking of, is when you've got NPCs running around, the world doesn't stop and wait for the players. That's part of being a living world, is having stuff continue.
Well, and that's kind of what my basic philosophy is when I'm running these campaigns is, all right, we're going to set up the players, we're going to drop them into the world. Here's what's going on in the world. Tell me what you do. And if you go off and you head north, that doesn't mean that everything that's south, west, and east freezes in some sort of time stasis or something like that. It just happens, right? And so that has consequences, and then the world changes, and the PCs look around again, and everything's different, or maybe not everything, but enough is different that they said, "Oh, maybe I need to spend some time focusing over here now." So they go run off over to this other place, and they do that. It's what I'm doing with Invisible Sun. There's people that are doing stuff behind the scenes, and what's going to happen is going to happen unless the players move to stop it. Or if they move to stop it, then it's going to change how that happens. But nothing stops. Nothing. I mean, the bad guys or the people that are working against them don't just sit and wait around for people to do something. They're off doing their own plans.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about penalizing them. I'm talking about things like, all right, they get
Yes, just like that, Fook.
They're on their way. They're on their way to defeat a BBEG, right? And while they're on their way, a village is under threat. They ignore that village to continue on this other quest. The village still gets destroyed. That's not penalizing. That's if you do X, Y happens. If you ignore this village, it's in trouble, then the village gets destroyed. It's not necessarily, I don't view that as a penalty. I view it as more of this is the consequence of the choice. But yes, if it's bigger plot threads that they can't do because of time limits or whatnot. Yeah. Like if it's something that's happening way to the south, then it will still happen, but it doesn't mean that they can't go and fix it later.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that it will directly affect their lives. You know, it might just be 300 miles to the south, there's a kingdom that's at war with another kingdom, and the one is evil and the other one's good, and the evil one crushes the good one, but it's still 300 miles away, and there's 5 kingdoms between there and now, or there and where they are. So it's not like this shift in power matters to the kingdom that they're in right this second.
Yeah, but let's be honest, how much prep does the big bad actually need? If we're honest. I mean, sure, sure, if it was like Ravenloft, I could see the stopping to help a village costing you time when going against Strahd, but most of the other games, they're not. There's not a lot of prep to be done because once the big bad has entrenched himself, what's he gonna do? Get more minions? Well, there's only so many minions he can get.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. You've got typically you've got a static site that he lairs at, and it's got static defenses and a group of minions or troops or whatever, right? You could build the walls higher, but that's not really going to change much. If you can deal with the walls when they're low, you could probably deal with walls when they're high. They're going to bring in more people. Okay, well, they're either stepping all over each other or
Eating each other,
or they've made a target-rich environment, and you just drop a fireball on all of them. Or you know what I mean? It's counterproductive as well if you think about
it. An army, unless it's an undead army, an army marches on its stomach.
Yep.
And you'll see that in history a lot. Like, the biggest reason why, one of the big reasons why Hitler lost Russia is the burn policy. If they had to abandon it, they were going to cost him blood, and then they burned as they left. There was nothing for them to eat, and he attacked in winter because he's stupid. General Winter's an asshole. He knows no mercy and gives no quarter.
Napoleon found the same problem in the same place.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If I was going to attack Russia, I would do it just after first thaw.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have rations. Lots and lots of rations.
So anyway.
And my supply chains would be reinforced and be the biggest, baddest motherfuckers moving. It wouldn't be these little bitty convoys scurrying along. It'd be...
Not on one rail line. I'd build 18. Anyway. Yeah, that's... I don't know that I can do that.
I've done it. It's difficult and stressful. So, much kudos to her for being able to handle that. I typically have one and call it a day.
I typically don't do apocalyptic events. But if I do...
somebody said they wanted to give End Times a try.
But if I do, it's only one.
Yeah. Although, I'm sorry, I still think it would be hilarious to do an alien invasion while Call of Cthulhu. During Call of Cthulhu. That'd be hilarious. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
No, I can't, because that'd be funny. Yeah, that's what she's talking about.
Yeah.
That's what she's talking about. Aliens versus Cthulhu. And the humans caught in the middle.
Yeah, that just brings me back to that. Dude, that would be a hell of a story to write, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
Better. Daleks versus Darth Vader.
Oh, cripe.
Exterminate! Exterminate! But seriously, though, yeah. I don't know. We got way off topic.
We did, but it was fun, okay. So it's all right.
That's what the purpose of Lounge is. Actually, yeah, that'd be funny. So I spent a lot of time on Reddit, and I read a writing prompt, and somebody did a really cute writing prompt of the zombies hit, but they figured out how to keep the control of the zombies, right? And to where they figured out when people how to ensure that when people die, if they come back as a zombie, they come back as useful zombies, or they get properly double tapped. And then they took the whole zombie concept. Yeah, but we'll do that. They took the whole zombie concept, and then they had aliens invade. And they wrote this story about aliens invading and then freaking the fuck out because they would kill a human, and then that human would just get up and eat them. And it was hilarious because I'm just sitting here picturing that. Because, yeah.
That's kind of an interesting idea, actually.
Humans. We don't stay dead.
Then add a cult.
Now, see, when I had that in, that made me think. So somebody wrote a World of Darkness Mass Effect crossover called and the name of the crossover was Pencils Down, Death Rays Up. And basically that's what they did. The Reapers attacked Earth and the occult got pissed off. And what stuck with me was that if anybody here has played Mass Effect, you know that the Reapers tend to turn people into husks. So they filled Detroit with these mutated humans. And then they decided that because they spread out and they weren't stupid enough to clump up, they decided that they would use all the abandoned cars in Detroit, levitate them all, and drop them on the husk and crush them. And it was hilarious because I'm just picturing, because I've been in Detroit. There's abandoned cars everywhere.
That's like, the truth.
Yeah, that's fitting, right?
You bet we do, Brian. You bet we do. Clams everywhere.
Do I even want to know?
Clam the sky.
You're still claim. CLAIM.
Yeah, isn't that what I said, Brian? Clam? Yeah.
Well, see, when y'all said the clam disaster.
Neither can I.
So, right,
it's been that way since the Kickstarter.
So fun nature fact. Because I saw this it was a nature documentary in Japan.
Oh, cripe.
And if anybody's familiar with the Japan culture, they very much honor the ancestor. And there's clam fishermen that, yes. Anyways, there are clam fishermen that go out and fish clams. However, some of the clams, their backs look like little samurai. And so when they find them, they think that it's one of their ancestors, or it's out of respect to their ancestors. I don't remember quite which ones it was. So when they find these little samurai clams, they throw them back in. And then they started talking about that there was a shortage of that type of clam because of the samurai back clams.
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on samurai clams. I'm imagining this clam floating around, its little rubbery tongue thing, holding a massive katana. You know,
Stop.
Like that. What with that meme with the crab and the knife? You know. Oh, jeez. That's horrible.
Dude, that is not. Stop that.
I'm going to cut you, man. Wow. All right. So, yeah, that's.
Go get. Come on. There it is. See?
Oh, weird.
I know, right?
That's so weird.
Yeah, okay, let's minimize you and close you. And there we are. And there it is. There, I will. There.
That's so weird.
Oh. Well, now they're eating them but
Yeah.
look at them. Look at these guys.
That reminds me of that one prompt. With all the technology that NASA has, why don't they explore the oceans and stuff like that? And then the NASA person responds to the guy in a whisper, "We already have. Why do you think we're trying to get to space?"
Because there's a okay, look, I get that that's a meme, and yeah, it's hilarious. Here, meet the samurai faces. If that link works.
You might have to copy the whole thing and put it in the browser, but so anyway, yes, Tai Chi. Yay, Tai Chi.
I did. Here, I'll just copy the article then. But look at the angry face.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I can almost hear him shouting in Japanese.
Please don't. You have a horrible Japanese accent. Don't do it. But yeah, you know.
See, that was of all the Numenera supplements, that's the one that I have the hardest time with is Into the Deep. For whatever reason, D&D, Numenera, whatever, I've had a hard time with undersea campaigns. I don't know. I can't do them.
Fishy for him.
Sure. I don't know, honestly. Part of it, I think, is I don't know. Like when you're in space and you fly to a different planet or something like that, you can get out of your spaceship and yeah, maybe you're in a spacesuit or something like that, but you can walk around on the planet, right? With deep sea stuff, walking around down there is not really practical. You can't and trying to imagine martial combat, right? It's not really.
Yeah, I get it. You can stare into the void of space, but you can't stare into the void of the ocean.
No, I can't.
Because space at least doesn't try to suck you down. Yet.
So I don't know.
Whereas I enjoy, deep oceans. I think that's cool.
She does.
Like he freaked out, but I was watching this YouTube video of this dude like diving to the bottom of the deepest pool. It was cool. And that's the other thing, right? I don't see a reason why we can't invent something to allow us to breathe underwater. The problem is that the pressure. The further down you go, the harder the pressure is.
Yep.
And you don't mind submarines.
No, but even then, you've confined the adventure space down to a tiny thing. It's like how exciting would space operas be if the only adventure space was, the size of a Corvette or something. You never ever left it. Even Star Trek had away teams, right?
Depends on how much sex was involved.
Okay, that's fair. But I'm not talking about that. Hence what, yeah.
Yeah.
But right. he doesn't have the problem moving around down there either. Whereas, as humans, we do. And I'm one that has to make my games have to be not maybe realistic, but semi-realistic.
Well, what about, what if there's what are they called? The underwater habitat. You could have an entire
massive habitat
where you're going from one underwater habitat to another.
You could. There's one game that I know of that actually had that going for it.
Which one?
Eon Trinity.
Well, I know Into the Deep tried to do some of that.
Sorta.
It has underwater cities.
Sorta.
And, okay, look, we're talking about Numenera. Bullshit it.
This is true.
I mean, seriously, okay, you're going to sit there and tell me that over billions of years, somebody didn't
park stuff on the bottom of the ocean.
I could totally see you going underseas and then finding an ancient civilization like the Mayans or Atlantis, untouched by the surface world because of how far down it is.
Yeah. Or clams, you bet. Maybe they work for the octopuses. The octopi? Octopi.
Yes. Octopus is singular, octopi is plural, and Octopussy was
the James Bond.
Was James Bond.
Any system bullshit. You bet, Fook. You bet.
Exactly.
That's the spirit.
Right there, that's the spirit. Fuck, it's almost 10.
It is almost 10. This was a fun conversation.
Yes, folk. Any system, any setting, if you're not getting what you need, bullshit it.
You bet, Brian. Yeah. We're here every Sunday, so feel free, join us.
Yeah, how's your puppy doing?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
We haven't heard from you in forever. So how's
Patches?
Your doggo?
Patches.
How's your doggo? Good.
That's really
I know
good.
You're really worried about her. My dog is still being a psychospaz. I was holding my granddaughter earlier and he got super jelly.
Fook, the lounge is not about sidetracking or not sidetracking the conversation. We're sitting around in comfy chairs with a roaring fire and drinks and just chatting because we're friends.
Maybe that's what I should get is one of those
like a GIF or something in the middle of the overlay.
I got a program. I could write it.
Heck yeah, man.
Maybe eventually.
Hey, there you go.
But yeah, we're gonna need to wrap it up here because my butt's going numb. Yeah, I got
things you needed to know for 800, Alex.
Hey, look. So I got a new chair, which helps a lot. But after about 3 to 4 hours, because of the angle of the chair and the damage done to my lower back when I had my kids, I can only sit in one position for so long.
Yeah. And on Sundays, half the Sundays anyway, I take up about 3 hours of that.
Yeah.
With Invisible Sun. So yes, but it's stuff we can BS about in a lounge setting. You know?
Well, my second son decided he wanted to hurry up and get out, so he cracked my tailbone. And it never healed right. So, yeah. Having kids is great!
I heartily recommend neither of you have kids.
Yeah, It's okay, Fook. You'll get there. And then you'll be like, I remember when I didn't have sound effects getting out of bed. But we're gonna, yeah. So we're gonna call it for here tonight. We're gonna continue the lounge
On Sundays.
On Sundays, we will not be doing it the 26th because I love you guys, but my kids are going to be in town, and that's the day after Christmas. I'm going to be spending it with them.
We will be here next week. We will be here the 2nd.
Yep, because I don't.
But not the 26th.
Because we'll be here the 19th and the 2nd. I'm not going to be here the 26th because I'm going to be spending time with my kids because they're coming up from Texas.
Yep. And then on the 9th, we're back with Invisible Sun.
And then we'll be back. I'm still doing Halo the 24th because I'm not doing anything else Christmas Eve. We might even go longer because I'm gonna.
Because
I'm gonna want to shoot aliens.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to come watch us play Halo, you can do that. That's on Fridays. If you want to like and subscribe on the Twitch channel, on the YouTube channel, you'll know when we're streaming, when we're posting. As always, you can chase us around the internet.
Follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube.
Whatever. You can follow us around the internet.
It's not those are important distinctions.
I'm sure they are.
Okay, this means that they get notified. Subscribing to us on Twitch means that they're giving Twitch money. And since we're not partners or affiliates, then there's no point in giving Twitch money because we don't see any of it.
Sure.
However, subscribing to us on YouTube is the same as following us here is when they get notified of new. So
you can chase around the internet on a link tree. One link to rule them all. One link to bind them. One link to bring them all. And then anyway. That's got all the ways you can find us. Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, MeWe, you name it. But yeah, we'll keep this schedule updated here on Twitch, and you can check it out so that we're going to be coming up next. But other than that, from our Citadel to yours,
happy gaming.
Happy gaming.